Good evening, my lovely creeps, and welcome to a very special New Year's night reading. Tonight, I'll be sharing the haunting tale of the Lady of Midnight Row, a story born right here in Terror City, steeping in tragedy, revenge, and ghostly whispers. But before we dive into the spectral gloom, let me remind you, if you haven't already, join me and my Sinister followers at patreon.com/basement1f. That's where you can become a member of Sallie's Sinister Circle, my cult dedicated to all things wicked. Trust me, it's way better than spending eternity searching for lost love like Eleanor here. Now, light your candles, lock your doors, and let's take a walk down Midnight Row. In the golden age of Terror City's old quarter, long before its gaslit streets were choked with the fog of industry and invention, there stood the proud and imposing Fitzroy Manor. The manor's stone facade loomed over the cobblestone streets, a testament to its wealth and power, and a silent witness to the tragedy within its walls. Lady Eleanor Fitzroy, the mistress of the house, was known throughout the city for her elegance. She was a vision of poise with her raven black hair and sharp green eyes that seemed to pierce the soul. Yet, behind her delicate smiles lay a woman trapped in a gilded cage. Her husband, Lord Ambrose Fitzroy, was a cruel man, obsessed with expanding his fortune. He showed little regard for Eleanor beyond her ability to maintain appearances. Eleanor's solace came in the form of Isaac, a humble violinist who performed nightly in the square below her window. His music carried an aching beauty, a sound that spoke of freedom and yearning. They met in secret under the cover of darkness, their whispered conversations and stolen moments kindling a love that burned brighter than any lamp in the city. But in Terror City, secrets do not stay buried for long. One fateful night, Lord Fitzroy discovered a note Eleanor had hidden beneath her writing desk, a note arranging a clandestine meeting with Isaac. Seething with rage, Ambrose devised a plan to put an end to her betrayal. Eleanor woke up the next morning to find the house unusually still. Ambrose was gone, and the staff avoided her gaze. She dressed quickly, with the unease pressing down on her like a heavy cloak. Her worst fears were realized when she reached the greenhouse at the edge of the estate. Isaac's violin lay shattered among the blooming roses, its strings twisted like broken spider silk. Nearby, her lover's lifeless body rested among the plants, his white shirt stained crimson. Ambrose emerged from the shadows, his face twisted with a malevolent grin.
You wish to play the part of a commoner, Eleanor? Now you can grieve like one.
Devastated, Eleanor retreated to the manor, her grief consuming her. That night, a storm raged over Terror City. She donned her wedding gown and ascended the manor's tallest tower. "Isaac," she whispered to the wind, "wait for me in the beyond." With tears streaming down her face, she stepped into the void. The next morning, the staff found her broken body in the courtyard. Her death was ruled an accident, a fall during the storm, and her name was seldom spoken in polite company again. But Eleanor's story did not end there. For months after her death, rumors began to spread. A figure in white was seen wandering the grounds of Fitzroy Manor. Passers-by would hear faint weeping or the haunting melody of a violin carried on the wind. Some swore they saw her staring down from the tower, her eyes hollow and accusing. The years rolled on, and the Fitzroy estate fell into ruin. Terror City grew, its boundaries expanding over the old grounds. The manor's remains were incorporated into the foundations of what is now Midnight Row, its cobblestones and skyscrapers standing over the bones of Eleanor's sorrow. But Eleanor's ghost did not rest. Those who dare walk Midnight Row on foggy nights often report seeing a woman in a flowing white gown, her face obscured by a veil. She is said to approach solitary travelers, her presence heralded by the faint strains of violin. "Have you seen my love?" she asked in a voice as soft as the wind. The brave or the foolish might respond, but woe to those who answer incorrectly, for Eleanor's sorrow turns to fury. Her ghost wails, a piercing sound that chills the blood and drowns the mind in visions of heartbreak and betrayal. Many who encounter her vanish into the mist, never to be seen again. Some claim her presence protects the row from petty thieves and vandals, but others whisper that even Dr. Terramine himself avoids her wrath. It is said that Eleanor's spirit is bound to the violin she once loved. To hear its music is to invite her gaze, and to feel its sorrow is to know her pain. So beware, dear listener. If you find yourself in Midnight Row and hear the mournful strains of a violin, walk away quickly and do not look back. For the Lady of Midnight Row still searches for her lost love, and her vengeance is eternal. Speaking of devotion, let me tell you about Sallie's Sinister Circle, my very own cult where we celebrate the weird, the wicked, and the downright horrifying. Join the cult tier on Patreon, and you'll get a t-shirt so exclusive even Dr. Terramine himself can't replicate it. Plus the power to decide what we, your Sinister Circle, review. In fact, cult member Benjamin Sheriff has already spoken. I'll be reviewing The Omen on Sallie's Sinister Circle. And for you Riff fans, Mitch and I are taking on Mano's The Hands of Fate. Don't say I don't deliver. So, if you ever wanted to guide the Hands of Fate, or at least my viewing schedule, head over to Patreon and join Sallie's Sinister Circle. Your name could be next in the credits of terror. And with that, dear listeners, I'll leave you to ponder the ghostly whisper of Eleanor Fitzroy. Who knows, maybe she'd have joined Sallie's Sinister Circle if Patreon had existed in her day. Happy New Year, creeps! I'll see you in the shadows.